Good morning and welcome to today's video. You're joining me on a freezing winter's morning about an hour before sunrise in the Peak District National Park. This trip is a bit of a last minute decision after realising I had the morning free, and after a quick check of the weather forecast I decided to get my stuff together and drag myself out of bed early in the morning and head out in search of some landscape photography. So thank you for joining me. Stick around to see how the morning progresses, and with all of that said and done, let's get into the video. So I've come up onto Stanage Edge. It's a little bit windy, it's absolutely freezing, but it's a stunning morning. I've already set up my tripod, as you can see, because the light is just emerging so rapidly. And although sunrise isn't for another 20 minutes or so, I just wanted to make sure I gave myself plenty of time to get up here, find a composition, and then just wait for the light to hit. And I've opted not to shoot the sunrise directly, but instead to kind of turn around, because it's a really clear horizon line, and my fear is that the sun will just be too overpowering for the image. So I spun around, and I'm going to use that first light when the sun comes up. I'm going to use that to kind of light up the rocks that my camera's trained on. But yeah, it's an absolute belter of a morning, and I cannot wait to get stuck into some photography. So let's get this shot set up and wait for that light. So my only real kind of technical worry with this shot is the sky. I've included quite a lot of it in the shot, and I'm worried that it's going to be a bit too dominant once that sun comes up. So I'm going to put a graduated filter on the front of my lens, just to kind of hold back that sky and give more attention to the rocks, and it should balance the whole thing out quite nicely. So hopefully you can see how this is affecting the image. I'm just pushing the graduated filter down from the top of the frame, and you can see it's just bringing back those highlights in the top half of the frame and giving a bit more attention to the rocks. It's quite subtle, but it's all you need just to balance out the scene a little bit. And yeah, we'll just kind of keep taking shots as the light changes, as the morning progresses, and we should soon start to get some nice soft light hitting those rocks, and hopefully it'll all come together nicely for an image. Right, so it's no secret that Stanage Edge is a really popular place for photographers, and that's great. Like, it's a really, really nice spot, especially when the conditions are like this. I'm glad I got out early because there's quite a few photographers up here now, and I kind of feel like I've been kind of pushed away from my my spot that I was on. There was this one guy, and he was really, really pleasant, nice to talk to. We shared a few stories, but then he just kind of put his tripod like right in front of mine, and I just thought, come on, you know, like it's just one of them. Anyway, he's left that spot now, and he's just kind of 100 yards down the way, but what he's doing is he's making his way down the edge, and just kind of dropping his tripod down at various points, getting different shots, which is, you know, it's fine. But it just means that he's blocking my shot wherever he puts himself. So I've come away. I think, to be honest, we've had the best of the light anyway. We're going to go in search of something else, somewhere a little less popular, I think. You know, the more I think about it, the more annoyed I am, actually. I got here really early this morning. It was pitch black. I sat for an hour in the van before leaving to go and climb up Stanage Edge, and even then it was pitch black. I don't know, I feel like I really made the effort to get up early,
and just get a head start on the day, climb up, find a nice composition and just sit and wait just for somebody to turn up and just walk right in front of it, you know? It just, I don't know, maybe it's just me. But then again, you know, this place is so popular with photographers, and you know, I completely get it. It's a beautiful place, especially when the light's like this, and it's easy, it's accessible, you know, you can park up and you can be at the top within 10 minutes. I just feel like there's a bit of an etiquette with landscape photography, and if somebody's made the effort to wake up early, find a location, find a composition, and sit and wait for the light to come, and don't walk in front of it, you know. So yeah, I think I'm going to head down to a slightly lesser known spot, just 10-15 minutes down from where I currently am, and see if we can make use of this early morning light before the sun gets too high in the sky.
So, I'm not here by chance. I've come to see an old friend. This tree behind me that's jutting out of the old quarry wall. It's been on my hit list for a long time, and I've never actually been here in the right conditions to shoot it, unfortunately. But today, it looks favourable. The light's still low, and it's actually rising from above this quarry wall, so we should have a nice little spell without any direct sunlight on it, which is what I want. So I'm gonna get the tripod out and have a look and just see how it's looking in this light. I feel like there's potential to get a nice image here with the reflection, but like I say, I'm yet to get the image that I'm really looking for. So I'm gonna have another go today. It's nice and quiet. There's no one around. It's so still. So I'm gonna set up my tripod and just spend some time trying to frame something up with this tree. I'm gonna talk you through my composition. So I've gone for a vertical shot, and the main reason for that is just to cut out any distraction from the left-hand side or the right-hand side of the frame, and give full attention to that tree that's just coming out of the quarry wall. There's so much detail and texture and colours in that wall, and I feel like the tree would get lost if I were to include too much of that, but at the same time I'm being mindful to show the scene and show the surroundings and just give a bit of context to the image. So initially I was going to put a polarizer on, but it just gets rid of too much of that reflection, which I feel is a real key part of the image. So I've decided not to polarize it, just to get that full reflection, which actually for the scene works really well. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward shot, and the key thing here is just that it's one of those shots where it needs the right conditions. Today, it's nice, it's not perfect, but we've just got the light just creeping over the top of the stone wall back there, and it's just throwing a little bit of a glow, nice soft light onto the water and onto the hillsides, and yeah, it's just enough to make this image pop. So we're going to take the shot, 2-second timer to avoid any camera shake, f11, so it's nice and sharp, just over half a second on the exposure, manually focusing on the tree, and that's it, that's all there is to it. After taking that image, I packed my camera away and started on my way back to the van. In retrospect, I'd like to thank that guy from earlier for pushing me away from the popular crowded viewpoint with Stanage Edge and encouraging me down to a more intimate, quiet location where I managed to find some peace and quiet and finally capture what I believe to be one of the best images I've ever taken.